Hi friends, it's Tuesday, March 18th. We just finished our Board of Supervisors meeting. We started at 9:06 and ended at 2:45. We had 4 executive session items, and so that took up a little bit of time. We and D5 are looking for volunteers to join a review panel for potential members of the Pima County Trial Court appointment. And so if you're interested, please let us know. So this committee would then pick 2 people, review applications to move forward to the trial court appointment nominating committee. So there's 2 different processes there. What we're looking for is a review panel that would be a little bit of a shorter time commitment. We are, Supervisor Hines brought forward an item creating a plan to fill in the gaps of service related to vaccines for measles, mumps, and rubella, the MMR, pretty common infant and childhood vaccine. So the federal cuts that are being proposed to Medicaid are going to have really devastating impacts to about 550,000 Arizonans, and a portion of those will be children because Medicaid funds kids care, which is 0 to 17-year-old students or children. And so if you look at Pima County as a whole and Arizona as a whole, 36% of the people that are on Medicaid live in rural areas and 17% in urban areas. And so a lot of our schools in the urban areas are at about 95% vaccinated, and so they have 95% immunity, and so they're less likely to have an outbreak than some of our schools in more rural areas. And so this would be creating a plan to target those areas of town, those schools and smaller little charters, smaller private schools that are obviously willing to participate and have parent permission to get vaccinated in order to give them give our community less likelihood of a measles, mumps, or rubella outbreak. I also asked if we could incorporate into the plan the option for flu shots, and that would be something that would be given out community-wide, because I know that is an issue, because what we're going to see is less and less preventative care as these cuts impact. Because if you're having to pay out of pocket for something that you're not used to paying, and you're struggling in the lower socioeconomic communities and our families in our communities, you are less likely to go when you have like a common cold, and more likely to seek medical help when you are facing an emergency. And so those are the things that we're going to have to deal with. So if there's any way that we can prevent some of those RSV, some of those things that we have, some of those illnesses that we have vaccines for, we'd like to do that. Then we had an update on federal issues and executive orders. Thus far, this administration has issued 89 executive orders that have an impact on Pima County, 127 legal actions in response to those executive actions. We have paused funding. So what that means is that we have $52 million that is going to impact 20 different departments in Pima County where the funding has been paused, and there's still like legal action going through the courts at this point. Pima County departments that are going to be potentially impacted would be health, human services, and workforce development. Those are pretty significant. There are portals that are open, which means if I expend an amount of money that is tied to a grant that I've already received, I put in essentially a receipt for what we did, and then we're paid for the service or whatever grant objective we met. So some of those portals are open, and we're receiving fairly timely reimbursement for some and not others. And so the county is monitoring that to see how that's going to impact. And so one of the other issues that is going to have an impact here is the number of estimated federal workers in Arizona whose jobs have been eliminated are 63,817. Of that over 63,000, almost 64,000, 34,000 are postal workers, intelligence officers, or appointees. And so in Pima County, that translates to over 12,000 people who have lost their jobs in Pima County. So one of the positive items that we had today was item number 18 on affordable housing. We call it gap funding. This is an item that D5 put as a consideration for the budget and was approved by, I believe it was a 3-2 vote, to add of $5 million every year to affordable housing. That started in 2021. And just today, we have $2.25 million dedicated in District 5 for 96 new units, just in the meeting that we approved today. And to give you an idea of the scope of what we've been able to do countywide, the $5 million has helped fund 273 affordable housing units and leveraged $87.7 million in private investment, which is exactly what that funding was supposed to do. So, and since this project started in 2021, the total number of units added and rehabilitated are pretty significant, and the total number of funds committed to District 5 projects since 2021 is 6,234,691, which I think is pretty great. And when I mentioned those 273 affordable units, 353 rehabilitated units, that's just in District 5. So overall, since the program's inception, it's 1,247 units. So good job, Pima County, and we're very proud to have been the office that initiated that specific funding, making a real big difference in our community. We brought forward an item about unlawful covenants. So what that is in your deed, it has a racist covenant, which means anyone of color could not live in a certain area. And so in our community right now, that language has been deemed unconstitutional, but some communities, if you look in the deed line by line, you'll see it's there. And so there are many of our neighborhoods, including Jefferson Park and Miramonte, that are really upset about this. And so what we asked administration to do is to work with our county recorder to figure out a streamlined process for us to be able to eliminate those. Obviously, every homeowner would have to opt in, but right now every homeowner has to go through some paperwork process and pay $30. And so we're trying to figure out, is there a way for us to do that where we might go to the neighborhood and have like a weekend or two where we're helping families go through that process and waive the fee. So we're looking forward to that plan from our administration. I did want to note that our art contest, which is the 4th annual art contest here, D5, Why Do You Love D5? We had 437 submissions from artists from K through 8th grade and of schools throughout D5. So congratulations to all of our amazing artists. We're looking forward to celebrating those artists this week and welcoming them to have an opportunity to look through their art amongst others. It's going to be really fun. And I want to thank Nicholas McCullough, our staff member here at D5, for just spearheading that project since its inception, and it's been really successful and very exciting. Our next meeting is going to be on April 1st, starting at 9 a.m. If you want any information about how to get involved in Pima County politics, or reach out. I want to just say on Saturday the 22nd, which is this Saturday, beginning at 8:30, we're going to have some speeches. 9 a.m. we're having the Cesar Chavez Dolores Huerta March. And then we're marching from Pueblo High School, beginning at 9 a.m. to Rudy Garcia Park. And there'll be some resources, open mic, music, food trucks. So I hope you'll join the community in really celebrating these amazing examples of what you can do when you work together and really mobilize and activate a community. Their legacies are eternal for Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. So I'm really glad that we'll be able to be a part of that. And then on a personal note, I just want to thank everyone for their heartfelt wishes, so many messages online, so many private messages, flowers, and just general condolences on the passing of my amazing dad, Congressman Adelita Grijalva. It has been incredibly difficult as a family and as a daughter, but I will say it has really helped to hear how many ways my dad has impacted so many people's lives. And so as a daughter, I just want to say thank you. Take care, my friends.